have to start with an inexpensive standard 94-inch spa cover. That's an 8-foot square cover, no rounded corners. This $1,200 winter box is possible on any inflatable brand of hot tub that is less than 84.5 inches wide, square or round. The height, H, of your panels will be the height of your tub plus the 2 inches of rigid foam insulation that will sit underneath it. If you want to use your Intex or Coleman or any of the inflatable spa brands all winter long, you can do it for less than $1,200. Let me give you the lumber list and show you how. Last year, in August, a friend offered to sell us an Intex 77 by 28 Pure Spa Bubble Massage Inflatable 4-person spa for cheap, half the retail price. We bought it, set it up, filled it from the tap, and it was hot by the next morning. The pump is super quiet, bubbles, yeah, not so quiet, but it runs on easy 110 voltage and the filters only cost $2 a piece. It's a nice, soft, soothing, relaxing, hot soak. I wouldn't say it's a 4-person tub, that would be a little too cozy for me, but it's really just for the two of us, and she's been in and out of it every day all winter long. Yes, it's been at a hot 103 degrees Fahrenheit all winter long, and we can see Mount Washington from our backyard. So how did we do it? It's not supposed to be a winter tub. And how did we do it with only an increase of $60 per month in the electric bill? Even on the coldest Saturdays and Sundays, we were in and out of it sometimes more than twice. It was all a big experiment for us. We used 2-inch foam sheets on top all winter long before committing to spending the $500 for a real and more convenient top. And that little heater kept itself hot just fine, snug as a bug in a rug. So once the test was done, this spring we bought the standard and inexpensive cover and rocking swing arm to go with it. It's a very simple 4-panel design at almost 94 inches square and 29 inches tall. It fits a standard inexpensive 94-inch spa cover, that's an 8-foot cover, and a standard inexpensive cover swing away of your choice and design. And if you decide to move it, it comes apart easy. Yes, you can take it with you and set it up anywhere. I can move the panels by myself, and I have twice now. But I would recommend that you get some help. Okay, so we're going to make 4 panels, exactly like this one. It's made of 2x4s on the bottom, and I'm going to show you a series of drawings. The bottom dimension is 88 5/8. The long dimension, meaning to the end of this T111 fin, is 93 1/4. So this panel, of which there's going to be 4 of them, the 4th one is going to look a little different because it's going to have the outlet for the heater. But all 4 of them are going to have T111 on the outside, 1/2-inch plywood on the inside, and they're all going to have this notch, well, basically a fin that sticks out 4.5 inches. The intent of that is that it fits together symmetrically. All 4 pieces fit together. If you notice at the corner, this piece is going to butt into this piece of the T111. That'll give it a clean look on the outside. So we're going to build 4 of these things. 93 1/4 inch long on the T111 side, 88 5/8 inches long on the 1/2-inch plywood side. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th one is where the pump comes through, and the cutout, we're going to frame it a little bit differently so that the T111 and the 1/2-inch plywood have something to nail on. There's 2x4s here, but the height of this hole is 19 inches. And the width is 10 inches. Now again, these 4 are going to fit together so that the T111, so from the outside you only see 2 screws, 2 screws, 2 screws, a total of 8 screws and washers that get fastened in, from the outside in a symmetrical pattern. Here's the lumber list. and it's 2x4 on top, 2x4 on the bottom. Now in the video that I do, you'll notice I'm making this thing actually at 96 inches. That was a mistake, because then I later found out that covers are not 96 inches. Covers don't come at 96 inches. This dimension doesn't come as 96 inches. Dimension comes at 94 inches, or almost 94. The little curtain in the skirt hangs over. You've got a hinge here. Little curtain skirt hangs over. And these are always, well, standard size anyways, keep your price down, is always 94 inches. So I modified mine. When you watch it in the video, you'll notice that mine looks longer. I cut it to a different length. But anyways, so for these panels, what you need for a lumber list will be 3 sheets of T111, 3 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood, AD. You want to have a nice side, one nice side. 17 pieces of 2x4 at 8 feet long, 2 sheets of 2-inch rigid insulation, and you need 2 sheets because you're going to put those 2 sheets in here, inside on the bottom, so that the whole thing sits on the 2 sheets. Essentially you have to cut it down. You'll have to cut the 2 sheets down so that they fit in here at 84.5-inch square. So that's the rigid insulation. One bundle of unfaced R13 insulation, 16 inches wide, and 6 tubes of caulking. And 2 pounds of 3.5-inch deck screws, Torx, and 3 pounds of 2-inch deck screws with Torx head. So that comes to a total of $400 worth of materials. Then you'll have to pay $500 for the cover, about $180 for the swing away, because your hot tub with its steps and you're going to make a cover for the heater, but that's separate. Don't worry about that just yet. But you're going to need to get one of those little swing away rockers that comes into here. Actually, it's going to fit like that. Goes down the other side. That swing away rocker is $180. There you go. Now in the video next, I'm going to show you the basic framing of each and every one of these things. But go by these dimensions as you make all 4 panels. 93 1/4 and 88 5/8 on the inside. T111 on the outside, 1/2-inch plywood on the inside. Alright, that way you can cut your T111 to be 29 inches long. Oh, by the way, that's the other part. 29 inches tall. So the 2x4s in here are going to be 26 inches. But so then it's 4 feet. And then the remainder, you'll have to trim this one down so that there's a 4.5-inch gap, or 4.5-inch fin hanging off the inside. Alright, so let's get started. Behind me, you will see the lumber that was just on my trailer. We have on the trailer still 3 sheets of T111 and 3 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood. And as I'm cutting the battens, you get left with 2 of these pieces. Well, guess what? In the shorter end, as you can see, a 16-inch stud setup, you've got about a 10-inch pattern in here. And guess what? These little leftovers fit quite nicely into there. So, with these nicely insulated, and then additionally putting down a little extra caulking all the way around, and then sealing the outer coating of T111 to this, we're going to have the highest possible R factor. Now remember, we're putting down full length, they're 4 feet wide pieces of T111. onto this. Release the pressure. We're going to be putting down a 4-foot piece there, screwing it down there, and then over here, this piece is going to hang over by, guess what, 5 inches. That's how it is in the plan that I showed you earlier. The corners will tie together. So don't cut that piece off. Am I pointing downward properly? Here we go. Don't cut that end off. Our piece is going to hang over by 5.5 inches, or right about there. I forget what it was exactly on the plan. All right, so that's what we're going to do next. We've put our caulking down on the edges. And so this is all 4 of these things are going to be pretty much the same. I'll show you the variance in the 4th one for the heat pump. But let's put the T111 down. All right, we got one done. One. Time to make another, and another, and another. But there's one. Number 2 done. Gonna drag it away. I'm halfway there. All right, panel number 3 is almost, it's ready to have its T111 put on there. You got to make sure your edges are just right. I think that caulking is a great touch. That way the outer skin is as tight as it can be, and that's very important, getting the best R factor. So panel number 3. Panel number 4 is going to be different because we need to make the fitting for the pump and heater. So there you have it. Panel number 3. I will be putting the last skin on that now.
Alright, so the basic plan with the 4th panel is that you're going to center the 19 by 10 inch hole right in the middle of the panel, and you have to frame it out so that your plywood suits to it. So for Intex Pure Spa 28 model XXX whatevers, which are 84.5 inches in total diameter and 27 inches tall, this is what you do. If you have a different model, different brand, then you still need to center the outlet hole on the 4th and customize the size of it to match your particular model. Some of the inflatable tubs really you're just going to drill a couple of holes, because they don't come attached really to the side of the tub. They just have a couple of holes. I've seen this in a lot of the photos. But so modify your 4th panel to suit your pump and water heater for your brand. But for the Intex, you're going to center the hole in the middle of the 88.5 inch panel and 19 inches tall from the very bottom of the panel. And, cut it out with a saw to make it fit perfectly.
All right, so I have cut the hole on the 1/2 inch plywood side for the pump. This is the inside of panel number 4. I'm going to let the outside of panel number 4, I'm going to wait until we're actually at the install so that it can be cut perfectly. It's going to have an outside box, but I want this particular cut to be very clean on the outside for, the best weather sealant. So now I'm going to flip this over, insulate it, and do the other side with the T111. I'm going to put the cover on, but I'm not going to, the T111, but I'm not going to cut it. Here you can see we've got the silicone and the insulation all the way around. So this is panel number 4. Well, that concludes this one. I have screwed it down. I'm going to wipe the silicone away from the edges, such as you can see. This is panel number 4. Right here, it's got the hollow spot. You can kind of see it. It's outlined in the screws. And, I'll cut this out. I'm going to cut this out on scene tomorrow. But this area here is going to be cut out because this is panel number 4. All right, well, we set it up this afternoon. We had a very nice afternoon here, November 8th. And it is completely fastened together. I only put 2 screws on each corner, all the way around. Just 2 screws, and that slaps it together quite solid. Cut the box where we had framed around the heat pump and filter. It squares right up. The corners fit right together perfectly. Again, 2 screws in each corner. For now, I'm going to take these 4x8 pieces of insulation and just put them on top. But it fits perfectly onto the deck, and it's going to look really good when it's finished. Alright, so this shows the construction of it. It's all screwed together, and it's made out of the leftover 2x4s and the leftover T111, and then there's a top piece of wood that I bought that also goes on top of it, so it fits just around it. This is the height of the 19-inch high hole, 10 inches wide. You can see I've cut it to fit perfectly around the pump enclosure. And you can fabricate something for yours that works in the same manner as a step system. So you step up once, twice, and then right into the tub. The pump and the hot tub all sit on that 2-inch rigid foam. I hope that you found this video to be very helpful as you insulate your tub for full winter use. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and please like, subscribe. Thank you.